Hey, it's Regina here from Tarot and Time in Kent, Connecticut. I'm here to talk to you about June, and I have a special guest. I'm excited. Everybody, meet Nature by Nikki. Hello, welcome.
Hi. Yay. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being
Such an honor to be
here.
on your show.
You're one of our biggest fans, so it's great to
Thanks.
have you here. And so some of you might know Nature by Nikki. We've stocked some of her products over the years. I think we have a beautiful Blue Lotus spray from you right now on the shelves. And I know you're always up to a lot of good things. And recently I got to experience one of your new offerings. So why don't you tell everybody about it?
Yes. Well, I've been getting into sound journeys, and I've always been connected with nature and following the flow of the moon and connecting with animal spirits. And then on my healing journey, I found sound healing. And I had such a shift from the sound healing that I just dove right into it. And now I'm offering sound journeys, and it just came to me very naturally. I learned, I've studied as a shaman. I'm an earth keeper too. And I just learned, like, over the last 20 years, I've been able to bring all of these beautiful medicines that I've learned and bring them in a sound journey now to offer to people. And it's just a fun experience. And I feel like I'm finally in my element where I can offer just all the things that I've gathered, the wisdom from nature and from my journey. And so it's making me happy to do that.
Well, you look really happy, and I'm so happy
I
for
am.
you. And you've been a
Thank
great
you.
teacher to me over the years. I've learned so many
Oh.
things from you. And I think you're the one who really actually taught me about moon water years ago.
Oh,
And
yeah,
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
And so I got to go to one of your sound journeys at the Salt of the Earth, right, in Woodbury. And
Yes.
I have to tell you, I've been to like a lot of different like sound baths and, gong meditations, all those kind of things. And I love them. But yours was so different. And I love that you're using the word journey, because that is what it feels like, especially being in that salt room too.
Oh,
It was,
yeah.
right? It's the intensity.
It's such I call it an immersion experience. You get the benefits of the salt, and we have rife frequency running through the cave. And then of course I do the guided meditations and stuff, and we pull out all the instruments, right? The gong and the guitar and the crystal bowls, and yeah, we really take a journey, and I love it too, because I get to take the journey with you guys.
So I loved going on the journey with you. I love that you included the pink moon. I guess it was the pink full moon when I was there. And you kind of brought the meditation back to the fact that it was this pink moon. And it was just so beautiful. I felt so connected to it being a full moon. I was also like, I didn't even realize that you were playing live guitar. Like, I thought you had just like hit the button and the speaker came on and this beautiful guitar music came on and she was playing it right there.
Nice.
So it was gorgeous. It was so relaxing, so revitalizing, and different, really uniquely you. I really appreciate that. So we are going to be soon, we're doing a little rearranging in our shop in Connecticut, and we are making space so that we can have more events. So Nature by Nikki will be joining us, hosting a sound bath very soon, or I should say sound journey. And it'll be nice to have it in our space. And I'm excited for the good vibes.
So wonderful.
Yeah, so pay attention,
good energy
follow
stuff.
us. All the good energies all combined. It's going to be powerful. It's very exciting. So check out our website, Tarot and Time, ThymeThyme.com. And you'll see that soon we will have the date posted. If you want more information about Nature by Nikki and the healing journeys that she is doing primarily in Woodbury, right? Primarily at the Salt Cave. What is your website?
It's naturebynikki.com /goddess gatherings. Sometimes it can be difficult to find, but my Instagram always pops up, Nature by Nikki. go to my Instagram, and my link is right in my bio.
Perfect. Nikki, Nikki. Okay,
Nikki. Yep.
wonderful.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
So we are going to, Nikki and I are always talking about the moon, and we are always talking about astrology together. We're lucky that we get to spend such nice time together. And so this is just feels like our regular conversation.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the month of June, and I'm excited for summer. I don't know about you.
Oh gosh, yes.
Right?
Yeah. I'm ready. Bring it on.
Bring it on. It's like I'm so excited to see the sun again. And I just, every time I get through another winter, I'm like, yes, made it through.
That's me
Give
too.
me some sunshine, right?
Thank God. Yep. Thank God we made it.
Thank goodness. So we're going to be moving through the Gemini season, right? It started in May, but it's going to continue in June. Both of you and I have some strong Gemini placements, right? You're a Gemini sun, right?
Yeah.
Your birthday's coming up.
But I'm also, yep.
I gotta make sure I don't miss that.
Yeah, I am a Gemini. We forget about that.
Forget about that. I always think you're a Scorpio.
I'm so Scorpio because my Scorpio rising. But you and I both have Gemini moons, right?
Yeah, we do. We both have Gemini moons. Yeah. Isn't it interesting? Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of talking going on here today.
Yeah. About the moon.
About the moon. All right. So let's start where we left off last time. So we ended on the 2nd of June. So we're going to head right into the month starting on the 3rd. Okay. And this is a new moon week. So we're going to have the new moon in Gemini, which means that the sun and the moon are together, right, at 16 degrees. And, you know, I feel like every month I get on this video and I'm like, nothing's balanced right now because nothing is balanced. Everything is still really scrunched together. It's going to start to kind of dissipate more. Like when I started to look at the end of the month of June, start to notice that the planets are starting to separate out a little bit. But we're going to have on the new moon on the 6th, I'm using my cheat sheet here. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planets in the sign of Gemini, right? That's a lot. That is called a stellium. When you have 3 or more planets together, we have 5.
Wow.
So what do you think about that? I mean, talk about a lot of Gemini.
Busy.
Multitasking like crazy.
Multitasking. Yeah, you're going to be talking to everyone.
Yeah, because Mercury, the planet of communication, will be in its own sign of Gemini. So
that's
works
one of the planets. Okay.
Really well there, right? Yeah. And it's really close to the sun. So then you've got the sun and the moon together, and then the moon is at the same degree as Venus in Gemini. So it's going to be fun. Nice. I personally think if you're single, it's going to be time to mingle, right? Like Gemini, I think they're always bouncing around, such social creatures. Yep. So this could be a fun and exciting time for you single people.
Right.
So
new moon,
right, placing our order about what we want on the new moon. And you know, the last new moon we had was in Taurus and Venus was involved. There's a lot of Venus going on. This time Venus is still involved because it's right there, same degree as the moon. Now this new moon happens on Thursday the 6th, but the whole week will kind of be leading up to that.
Do water out Thursday night, like you said.
Yeah, I even do it like a day or two before, sometimes just because I don't want to forget. But I don't know. I like to write down, like you hear me talking a lot about placing your order instead of making wishes, right? Placing your order. So it's very much with intention. I like to put my order underneath my moon water, you know, especially if it's in a window, like I feel like it's infusing the water. What do you like to do with yours?
Yeah, I do that. And I carry it out very specially with me next to my heart and holding the intention in my mind. And what I usually do is I kind of swirl it to the left before I start with the intention of cleansing and starting from the beginning, especially with the new moon. And then I begin to swirl it to the right as I infuse my intention into it. And then I'll usually bring out whatever stones needs to be brought out. It's usually a rose quartz, but whatever you're holding for the intention, just make sure you include it in with the moon water. So yeah.
So do you put it in your moon water, or do you put it
I
like
do
next to it?
sometimes. Yep. Sometimes I'll put them all around it, like an altar.
Ooh,
Or
like that.
sometimes I'll put them right in there. It depends on what I'm working with. If I've got some round, smooth, tumbled stones, like the beautiful ones you can buy from your shop, I love
Yeah.
putting those right in the water. And that helps to even further structure the water when you're pouring it and in and out of your, whatever vessel you're using. But then, like when I use my rose quartz is like this big. So I put that next to it. And yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, but
That's
definitely
such a good
definitely include
idea.
some stones. Yeah.
I never do that. I'm going to start doing that. I was
Yeah.
thinking like when I'm thinking all this Gemini energy, and it's like Gemini's very vocal, right? And so for people
Mm.
who maybe aren't used to being able to speak up, maybe they could use some blue kyanite, right? That's like throat
Yeah,
chakra.
definitely for your throat chakra. Sure.
Yeah.
And
And
the mantra I think is hum or yum. So look up whatever the mantra is and create a ceremony around it. Whatever elements that you can bring into that, what you just spoke of, maybe, something opening up and blue
right.
and yeah.
Right.
Yeah, bring
Interesting.
whatever elements you can into it. Bring it further. It doesn't have to be. You can just put your water out there and say, "I'm going to drink this moon water tomorrow." And
Right. And be
that's
simple
awesome
about it.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So, do you ever play like do you ever play like your singing bowls or anything to the moon water?
I haven't played it to the moon water, but I play it to my water. So there's no reason why you couldn't actually play it to the water and then put it outside. I mean, like I
Mm,
was saying, add all the elements you want to it. Um,
right.
Speaking of the throat chakra, I had taken my friend's water bottle before she flew to go see her mother. They were working on some stuff and wanted to work on their relationship again. And I took her water bottle and I put it inside the throat chakra singing bowl. And, I'm not saying it's because we sung that bowl, but she went off and she had a wonderful time with her water, and her mother talked, and they are best friends now.
Wow.
Um, so never underestimate the power of the vibration of the singing bowls, what they can really do, because they
Right.
work hand in hand. I mean, we could go down the rabbit hole of how it affects the water, but I don't know if anybody's heard of cymatics, where they take the vibration and it makes the patterns in the water. It makes beautiful patterns, and some of them start looking like the chakras, like the energy wheels and stuff.
Yeah.
So you can really be very intentful when you're using the bowls and water together.
And I guess that's kind of what I was feeling about putting the wishes underneath it, because you're putting your intention, especially if you can say them aloud too as you're getting close to the water. Because, what was that famous book where they showed water that was being spoken to and how it changed under
Oh
the
yeah,
microscope?
Dr. Emoto. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
always
Dr. Emoto.
found that
Yeah.
it's fascinating. So don't
Yeah.
forget the power of intention, right?
Yes, and you use your words. Yes, and I mean, people talk about how the consciousness actually lives in the water. So if you're praying, make sure you're praying to your water. And I
Wow.
love how you brought up that book, because he doesn't get a lot of credit, and it's because he cherry picked the people that he wanted to use in his experiment. But the reason that he did that is because he wanted to make sure that they had their highest vibes, that these were aligned people that took, their spirituality and science seriously, and they weren't just like, you know, doing whatever the hell they wanted to, and off hours. These people were picked because they were able to carry the intent this whole time. Because what you're talking about are the experiments where they would have one water bottle and the other water bottle, and they would say, "I love you so much" to this water, and the other one they would have to say, "I hate you" to. But he picked people that were able to tell this water, "I love you" every day, and this water, "I hate you" every day. And it's hard enough for ourselves to like drink water every day, so he picked very special people, and I think that the results that he got really show that.
Yeah, that's
So
so
so it just
cool.
goes to show, like you're saying, the intent, and the words that you speak, it is so important. So yes, definitely speak those words and write them down like you were saying
Write them
underneath,
down.
and use it as
Yeah.
your mantra.
And place your order. Place your order in the most
Yes, I
positive
love
statement
that.
that you can, right? Most positive
Mm-hmm.
way, since we know how powerful words are.
Yeah.
So we start off the week of June 3rd. We're going to start with the moon in the sign of, well, it's in Aries technically, but by the time we wake up, it'll be in the sign of Taurus. Okay. So we start off grounded. We have Mercury, the planet of communication, moving into Gemini that morning also. All right. So that's going to give us the 5 planets. I wrote down for Monday the 3rd, put your mind on your money and your money on your mind. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a square going on with Pluto. Pluto rules combined monies and other people's money. It's like going through your bank statements, making sure there's no fraud, no anything like that, because the square with Pluto could be other people tapping into your funds. So keep an eye on your numbers, especially on June 3rd. Okay. On June 4th, the moon will continue to be in the sign of Taurus. So envision money flowing into your accounts, just flowing in with ease, right? And then we'll have the moon in Taurus on Wednesday the 5th also, but by early morning, we'll have the moon moving into Gemini as we get close to this new moon, okay? Multitasking comes super easy. And for those of you like myself, like Nature by Nikki, who already are Gemini moons, who don't seem to have a problem with their throat chakra, or at least not underusing it, right? I definitely maybe a little overused. I'd stay away from the blue kyanite if you already are flowing in that way. You might want to
let other people do the talking.
Let other people do that. Yeah. So for us who are already a lot of air, we want to stay really grounded, right? Really careful with our words, choosing them
advice.
wisely, right? Because it's very easy for things to just kind of fly out. Right. Now, you might find that you're on the road. You might be inclined to get moving because Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And Mercury delivers information. So it rules the delivery of information. So it rules the roadways that things are brought to us, delivery. Okay. And it also rules neural pathways in the brain, delivery of information. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's pretty cool, right? So
that is cool. Yeah.
This is a great week. Like if you've been putting off going to therapy, great week to jump back in. Talking is there. You're able to just go down those paths and get a lot up and out. Now, there's a big
have those hard conversations, maybe.
Right? I mean, the conversation will be flowing for sure.
It will. And I was just looking at Venus here on Friday with the stellium. It just, if you needed to have those hard conversations, it's kind of a nice time. If you are a Gemini moon like we are, it's nice to be able to have them and then let the other person talk,
Yeah.
Sort of, because it's, it's flowing.
It's flowing. And this could be a good time. If there's somebody that you need to tell them that you love them, like you may really feel like I need to speak up and say so. This might be a good time for you. Okay. Because the words are going to be flowing and you would be setting your intentions of what you want. Now, we do have a square with Saturn. Okay. So Saturn wants you to be responsible, to take care of all your responsibilities, to work hard to get those things done. You may even find that you're on the road for work, some people. It's going to have themes of that. The square, so there's kind of this 90-degree angle, right, where things are kind of button heads. So this is not the time to go smack talking to your boss or arguing with your clients or arguing with the IRS, right? Because all those things of responsibility are going to hit. So just be aware of that. Now, if you're ready to tell someone you love them, great. remember that the moon is close to Venus, but it also has Mercury with it. And then even though Jupiter and Uranus are a little bit farther out in degree, they're all kind of scrunched together. So I see them all working together. So that's 6 planets. 6 planets. So once you start something, once you start the words flowing, it's going to bounce off all those planets. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there's kind of a trine with Pluto. I'm calling it a trine. And Pluto, to me, even though it's Scorpio energy and it can, people think about the death part of Pluto, they forget about the power part of Pluto, and they forget that it rules sex. So there's a trine there with Pluto. So when it's good, it's going to be good. And so maybe it's time to, maybe you've been waiting a while to tell someone how you feel, or maybe there's a conversation that you need to have, but there's also some sexy energy available.
Oh yeah, we'll ride that wave.
Yeah,
Isn't Pluto
mark your
also
calendar.
Yeah, right? Isn't Pluto also transformation too? So
absolutely.
So it sounds like, like you were saying, if you want to tell someone you love them, that new moon is a really great time to tell them and start placing that order about, what you want to transform this sexual relationship into being, maybe.
Absolutely.
I like that.
But remember that you better mean it, because Saturn's there. And if you don't go yanking somebody's chain about loving them, because it's going to come back and it's going to hold you accountable.
All right. Just like you say, when you place your order, don't order something that you're not going to eat. Like when you're at the restaurant, don't order something just because, that looks good. When it's served to you, are you going to eat that?
Right. So. Don't waste anybody's time. Don't waste anybody's energy. So then we move into, now remember, this month for most of it's not most of the month, but it's about the 3rd through the 12th. Venus is going to be square Saturn also. So again, let's not, Gemini's kind of known, I guess I can say this because we're Gemini moons. Gemini's known sometimes to be a little bit of the player. It's a lot of
flirt.
Right? A lot of a lot of tarot readers associate the magician to Gemini, kind of the trickster, right?
Yep.
So if you think you're going to get away with that this month with the square with Saturn, I don't think so. Things are going to catch up. So just hold your words with people, hold to your responsibilities, what you promised people, so that square can actually be a zesting. Sheila Haidt taught me that it can zest. And I like that if it hits just right, instead of headbutting, right?
Yeah, instead of a collision, you're just kind of, just rubbing off some of the good stuff.
Right. Just like a little reminder. Cool. Oh, remember you said, and you were going to do that kind of stuff. All right. So Friday the 7th, we have a square going on with Neptune. So anytime Neptune's involved, things aren't going to be clear. Things are going to be foggy. Okay. But if we're talking love and I think Neptune's romance too.
Oh, okay.
Could be delusional romance, but it's romance.
Yeah.
So there we are on Friday the 7th. Move slowly, move intentionally, watch your words. Mean them, mean your words. Then we have the weekend. The weekend, the moon will be mostly in the sign of Cancer because it moves into Cancer at 8:41 a.m. on Friday the 7th. I love a Cancer weekend. How about you?
Yeah, I love a Cancer moon. I don't know. I dip right into it.
Yeah. It's, water signs in general need more rest. Cancer rules the home and nurturing yourself and, like a good meal and just making everything comfy.
The hot tub.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's never a bad day for that.
Yeah, it sounds like our kind of weekend.
Yeah, so Friday the 7th. So just move slowly. Things are foggy, but go slow anyways. The moon's in Cancer. The weekend, we have Venus is still square Saturn, but there is a trine with Saturn on Saturday the 8th. just make sure you take care of your responsibilities and then be able to enjoy. Anytime Saturn's involved, there's some form of a responsibility. Maybe you have a family responsibility. Cancer does rule the mother or the nurturing parent. So maybe you have a responsibility in that way. But take care of those things and then just really savor, slow down, and enjoy the watery weekend. Especially Sunday the 9th. Rest in the morning. See if you can sleep in. Mars, the planet of action, is going to leave its own sign of Aries and it's going to move into Taurus. So I feel like it kind of slows down a little.
Thank God.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we've been going pretty fast here. We need some Taurus energy.
Yeah, I feel like I wasn't even drinking coffee. I was a tea drinker for a while, and I've just been drinking coffee. I'm blaming Mars in Aries.
It's funny you say that because I've been drinking coffee too, and I can't drink coffee, but there was a couple of mornings there where I drank coffee, and I was like, okay, yeah, this matches the speed that I'm at right now. So
yeah, so it'll be nice, I think, to have.
There, but
it'll be nice to have Mars in Taurus because I think anything in Taurus is a beautiful thing. It's a Venus sign.
Me too.
Right?
Yeah.
And
right.
so Mars, the planet of action, entering a sign that rules relationships. It rules jewelry. I can see some people getting engaged. I really can. It's just beauty.
Nice.
It's also
I like that.
Right? Yeah. It's a beautiful time to like cook a nice meal, have a beautiful day at home on Sunday.
Enjoy the little luxuries. Slow down, with the family, or maybe take a bath or something. Just something luxurious that means something to you.
Yeah, and since we started off the week, something homey. We started off the week saying like keep your mind on your money, right? And then Mars moving into a Taurus, which is associated with your wallet. So maybe it is really time to think about like what really brings you joy. I think for me, it's just the simple things. I mean, I love the fancy things too, to a point, but like a nice meal at home, a nice, dip your feet into some water, go to a nearby lake or something. The weather's getting warm.
Yeah, have a fire outside after dinner, or cook your dinner outside or something. It's time. It's time to get out there in nature.
It's
watch the
season.
Sunset or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and like
the simple things.
So many plants are coming up outside. I mean, what would you be harvesting? Like nettles, or is nettles gone by June?
Kind of a little past for us, but one of the cards I actually did pull it for this week was the red clover, and I got it out of the Herb Crafters deck, and it was red clover, and I thought, well, that's perfect because the red clover is going to be jamming. I mean, the fields are going to be full of the red clover. So
beautiful.
Red clover is just,
What do you use it for?
It's just beautiful to eat. It's so beautiful to eat, so you can pluck the little blossoms. And do you ever remember as you were a kid, did you ever take the little clover blossoms, the little purple part, take it out and suck a little bit of honey at the end? Just a nice simple thing. But they're really edible, and you can actually eat a lot of them too. If you pluck a lot of those heads, you can just soak them, and then like you can boil them, make them like you would a pot of beans or something.
Really?
They're really yummy, and I like to pluck them and use them for tea too.
Okay. Is it like calming? Because it seems to me that it would be like it's sweet. Do you think, is it calming?
Yeah, actually, it's. Well, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but working with plants, red clover is really good for women, and it's really good for emotions and hormones. And I actually was just reading a study this morning about how good red clover is for women psychologically. And I thought, well, yeah, duh. I know that already because we've been using it for our hormones, and we've been using it as just a nice soothing tea.
Okay.
So it's really just wonderful to supplement in when the season's on, so June, they're going to be all over the place. So another thing you can do too is you can make salve out of it. I've never actually made the salve or used it, but it's really good and soothing for your skin. Okay. So take advantage of the red clover when it's up, just pick it.
Can you eat it raw? Can you put it
Oh,
like in
yeah.
a salad? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, right? So pluck
Ooh.
those little the little blossoms and take them out of the head. Take all the little blossoms out and sprinkle those
Okay.
on your salad. And even the little leaves too, put those in your salad and make it pretty,
Fabulous.
make it as a
Ooh, I love
garnish.
it. I'm excited. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So why don't we pick a couple cards then for this new moon week and see what else our listeners need to know.
Yeah. Are you going to pick some tarot cards?
Yep. Do you want to go ahead and
Okay.
start with
Wonderful.
yours?
Well, I already had picked that. I picked the red clover.
Cool.
And I thought it was kind of funny that came out of the deck it was a perfect time. What is red clover? Let's see. In this, it's 10 of water. We were just talking about all the water signs. So it's the 10 of water in the Herb Crafters deck. And they're actually doing exactly what we talked about. They've picked all of the blossoms and they're in the spoon there, the little blossoms. And they've also harvested the heads and dried them and they're in the mason jar.
Beautiful.
And then it looks like they're making tea in the background there. But red clover is just so abundant, and 10 of water. I mean, isn't that like 10 abundance, right?
10 of water. Yeah. 10 of emotion. I think that's traditionally called the happy family card.
Yeah, you can make, your family dinner just so special by just walking out, just a few minutes before you're ready to serve dinner and go pick a few flowers and just sprinkle them over dinner,
Beautiful.
Just make it special. Very easy.
Do you have another card for us?
Oh, I do actually. I picked the rose card.
The rose card. Okay.
The rose is the empress in this deck.
How pretty.
Yeah, and the wild roses will be flowering this month. And if you've never smelled those wild roses, go smell them. There's nothing like a wild rose. And then this little bead here, this necklace that you see, those are actually rose hips that have been dried and then strung together, almost like mala beads.
Oh, yeah. How pretty. I love that deck.
Yeah.
It's
I love
so
this
nice.
deck. Yeah. And I just love rose. I love rose so much. And we're so blessed here in the East to have this wild rose that just grows abundantly. What do we call it here? Multifloral rose. People look at it as a weed, but oh my goodness, when it's jamming, it smells so yummy. And I'd love to make all kinds of medicines out of it. Yeah.
Fabulous. You're going to have to show me that one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know wild rose. Interesting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good. We'll have to go smell it.
Yeah. So you got the 10 of cups and the empress. How beautiful is that?
And the empress. Yeah,
gorgeous.
That's the number 3. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I picked I think this is the King of Wands, a fire king. Okay. So, I'm trying to see here. Do we have any planets in fire signs? Mars will be moving into Gemini. So we only have the transiting North Node in a fire sign and nothing else in a fire sign. Interesting.
Wow.
So we're low on fire. So we need a little spice, right? So so the King of Wands is showing up. He's the world traveler. He's the king of passion. So you may want to bring in some fire elements. Like you were saying, maybe having like a little fire after dinner. When we're low on an element, we're going to need to bring it in some way. Right. So if you look at your chart, right, I know I have no air or no earth in my chart. So it's really important for me to connect with, thank goodness I have 2 earth signs in my family, help keep me grounded, right? So with no fire in the chart right now, you're going to want to bring in the fire element, whether it be a candle, bonfire, like you said. It could even be a little bit of spicy food, or it could be like diffusing cinnamon oil, something like that.
And our deep breathing is coming to mind too, like the breath of fire. Do some breath work. Might be a nice time to slow down and really focus on that. And we think about slowing down to do the breath work, but slow down and do that fire breath, really get some of that kundalini flowing.
Oh, that's such a good point. Thank you. Especially with it being
Yeah.
so much Gemini air. It's like breath. Yes.
Yeah, right. Take a breath.
Take a breath.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget. All right. Here's the Four of Wands, which is my other card. And there's the simple pleasures, I guess, the joy, right? They're dancing. There's a celebration. They're taking the time to enjoy it. So beautiful cards for this first week of June.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like, take it easy, get out there and enjoy it.
Enjoy it while it's here. All right. Okay. We're going to move into the next week, which is June 10th through June 16th. And we're going to start off. The moon will have moved into the sign of Leo. So it moved in on Sunday afternoon. It will be there on Monday the 10th. We do have a bunch of squares going on. So the moon has a square with Mars, the planet of action, and Saturn is squaring Venus and Mercury. So what that kind of means, when squares are involved, things can be choppy. Things can get a little frustrating. You might try to push for something that doesn't work. So you're not going to win with others. So you might just want to do your own thing on Monday the 10th. Leo knows a healthy Leo knows how to be healthy, selfish. And so Monday the 10th is a really good day to focus on you and what you want.
Yeah.
I have a picture of a paddleboard. I put a picture. Speaking of what I want, I put a picture of a woman on a paddleboard for the 10th.
Perfect.
So
there you go.
Great to just get out in the sun, Leo. Do what you want.
Yeah. And take it easy on yourself. I mean, you're saying the moon is squared Mars, right?
Square Mars, and then Saturn's making all these squares with Mercury and Venus.
Right. So it sounds like you're really going to want to really enjoy yourself. Find those things that you want to do, because you're going to be having to give yourself a break, whether it's emotionally or physically. Maybe the Gemini moon is making I got confused here. But the moon square Mars, I was thinking, just go easy on yourself. And, like you're saying, the Leo knows how to be a little selfish. So go out. If you have to go out on your own in nature, then do it. Follow that.
Do it. And maybe it's a good day to take off. Maybe you take off and have a long weekend and enjoy and to get really healthy, selfish on Monday the 10th. If you can't do that, slow it down, square with Mars. And also, don't get into it with work stuff, because Saturn is squaring Mercury and Venus. So if you start getting into it with your boss or your clients or whatever, or just, upset with your responsibilities, you're going to regret that conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Tuesday the 11th, the moon will continue to be in the sign of Leo. Venus will still be square Saturn. The moon will be square Uranus, the planet of anything can happen. And there is a trine, though. That day, the moon's trined with Mars. So you can take action. Be prepared for anything, because Uranus is involved. Right? And I wrote down, be prepared for anything and don't take things personally.
Okay.
June 11th. All right.
Be prepared.
Be prepared, however you can be prepared, that maybe things aren't going to go as planned, because when Uranus is involved, and Uranus rules the sign of Aquarius, and if you know any Aquariuses, hold on to your hat, because you never know which direction you'll be going in or what the new idea will be, or
it could be an unpredictable day for sure. You don't know how everybody's going to be showing up.
Absolutely.
So all the more reason to, you gave everyone a permission slip to take Monday off, sort of get a little recovery so that you're ready to dive into the flow, because you don't know what to expect. So be prepared.
Yeah. So if you could take Tuesday off, take Tuesday off too.
Okay. Yeah.
So the square between Venus and Saturn is going to end on the 12th, but then Venus is going to square Neptune. Okay.
Oh.
So it may start, and I think that lasts for a few days, at least this week. So Neptune's already confusing. And then Venus is your relationships and your self-value and your love and your money. And it's square something that's just going to make you confused. So, good vacation week. Step back a little. Wait for the fog to clear a little bit.
Yeah.
Thursday the 13th. Well, let's see. I think we were still on Wednesday the 12th. By the time we get up in the morning on Wednesday the 12th, the moon will have moved into Virgo. Okay. And it's going to have a square with Jupiter. I don't pay attention to too many squares with Jupiter because Jupiter's luck and blessings. So maybe I'm wrong. I have almost every single planet in my chart square Jupiter. So I should know what I'm talking about. I think that Jupiter just makes things big. So things are going to go either really great,
Jupiter.
right?
Yeah.
Things are going
to get... I love Jupiter. Yeah. I love the expansion for sure.
And no one argues about blessings. So with a square with Jupiter, it's like, yeah, it's probably going to be either really good or really not. That's my experience with Jupiter squares.
I mean, if Neptune's involved there, and I know Venus is squared Neptune, but maybe that's a great day to go swimming, go to the beach, go to the pond. You were saying about paddleboarding, it's time to get out there. So make it one of those days, if you can't understand Neptune and what it's doing, just get in the element of water and just,
yeah,
let it go.
Let's put a little star there for beach days.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so the 13th will have the moon still in Virgo, and just Virgo's great energy for getting organized. For it rules health, so maybe going to the beach is good for your health, right? And
get your bathing suit out. It's time to get your bathing suit out. That's a Virgo thing. Like, I gotta get my summer clothes out and put my winter clothes away.
So it's still intense on the 13th. Stay busy, tend to your health. We got a few squares. Venus is squaring Neptune, the moon's squaring Mercury and Venus. So there's a lot of Venus themes, but there's a lot of like squares with Venus. So it may be push and pull with other people. It may be that you want something, they want something else. Maybe you need to continue to decide what you want and maybe make the time of mingling with others a little later. Possibility.
Right. Like you said, focus on your health. Virgo is health, and this would be a great time to just really focus on just, nourishing yourself and emotionally too. But,
definitely
like you were saying, show up for yourself.
Yeah. And like all this air energy, all this mind energy, right? Like it's like mental health.
Right.
Like this would be a great mental health day to take.
Yes. Go pick some red clover. Go pick some red clover for your mental health.
There you go. So it definitely needs to be tended to. When we talk about health, I think I know my thoughts go immediately to like, I'm not exercising enough. I need to eat cleaner. But health has so many different layers of what it could mean. So big time about your mental health. We have to remember that.
Yeah, the mental health too, but we have to remember that recovery is the most important. If you're not checking in with your mental health, if you're not getting good sleep, those kinds of the simple things, then it doesn't matter how much you're exercising. It doesn't matter how much good food you're eating. There are some basic things. So it just made me think of it, we always go to the negative things like, well, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. But the more we focus on the stuff that we are doing and that we can control, then the other stuff will just start to come in play. I mean, we all know we have to get a good sleep, right? Because then the next day we're shot. So just focus on one thing, and don't go over the hill.
Pick one thing.
Like, I got to exercise and now I got to start the gym again. Maybe the week before, if you've been wanting to, on that new moon, use that new moon energy, place your order. Like, I'm going to, I'm going to start my gym routine, but not now. The end of this week, we just want to sort of relax and just focus. Drinking water, right? Those simple things. Just focus on drinking water.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. And like even though Virgo's an earth sign, it's ruled by Mercury. So to me, it's like more of that Mercury energy. We already have all these planets in Gemini ruled by Mercury. So we don't want to overthink it. We could actually take a time to really pay attention to what thoughts are coming up and how to kind of like dispose of those, because a lot of us will just drive ourselves crazy with thinking all the shoulds and coulds and more the shoulds and the guilt. Right. So this is kind of saying, slow down, take a look, but guilt's optional. Guilt is definitely optional.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Just be aware of the thought patterns. Don't be too hard on yourself.
Don't be too hard on yourself. All right. Yeah. So keep going on Friday. You got this is the advice for Friday. And by the afternoon, the moon will move into the sign of Libra. And we're going to have a Libra weekend. So Libra is another sign ruled by Venus, right? It's the scales of justice, looking for balance. So Libras tend to, one of their shadow sides is that they can overgive and overcommit.
Yes.
And so remember that theme at the beginning of the week, healthy, selfish, that we don't overcommit. Also with Venus square Neptune, we might not know what the heck we're committing to. Might not be clear. So don't overcommit, Libra. Start to choose yourself a little bit more. And so even though our viewers might not be Libras, but when the moon is in Libra, that's kind of the energy in the air, right?
Yeah, when I'm under a Libra moon, I feel the beauty. I always say beauty and balance. Libra to me is like, they will overextend themselves, but they also know how to overextend the beauty too. So we can, instead of overextending ourselves, we can lean more into the beauty, like we were saying before, the self-care.
I like that.
Lean more into yourself.
I like that. So that puts Libra is an air sign. So that gives us another planet in air signs.
Another air sign. Yeah, we're going to need some grounding this month.
Yeah, there's a lot of air going on. So just keep that in mind. Try not to move too fast. Watch that you're not overthinking everything. But you might have some really great ideas. So write them down. Write them down.
Yeah, write them down so that you don't have to keep thinking about them.
I like that. So that you can get your rest. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So Saturday and Sunday. Sunday's Father's Day. And in Libra, so we definitely just want to, spend some time. Libra's ruled by Venus. That's a relationship sign. So it might be easy just to do something easy. Venus is square Neptune. I can envision you like going fishing with your father. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
That's what comes to mind to me.
Yeah. But something outside, something grounding, right?
Right. And then I wrote down for Sunday, just enjoy the simple pleasures. And that's usually what dads like too.
Right. Yeah. That's nice.
So a couple cards for the second week of June. I am working with the Golden Art Nouveau. And then I have the Witches. Yeah, you like that one. And
I love
the
that
Witches Tarot, which is another good one.
I love that little one. I carry that one in my purse.
It's a good one. It's really beautiful. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll start off. I got the Two of Swords and more air. 2 relationship number, which everything was Venus, which is relationships. And she's kind of she got her eyes covered. She's going in. It's almost like she's at a crossroad. Like maybe she's self-protective or she can't make a decision. Libra sometimes has a hard time making a decision. So it's kind of just saying like, let's just pause and feel what's going on and give yourself that time to kind of assess where you're at. And then my other card is the 7 of Swords. More air. He's got 5 swords in his bag. He left those 2 swords behind. I didn't look at these. I just pulled these. Isn't that cool?
Nice.
So the 2 swords are referenced in the background there. So there may be some thoughts that need to be left behind. There may be some people. There may be a situation, a relationship, something that doesn't work for you anymore that you are stepping away from. Take your time to feel that out. There's going to be many thoughts and feelings, and kind of slow down and really assess what's working for you.
Yeah, and I also saw Dad in that 7 of Swords there.
Dad?
Yeah, it looks like, Dad going out to fish. Yeah, and it's like, leave the thoughts behind, and you got the other 2 of Swords. It's like, don't overthink it. Just go out and do the simple things. Yeah.
It's like there's a circus in the background.
Yeah, but it looks like he's kind of like turning away from that, like, let's go, let's leave the 2 swords where they are and let's go this way.
Yeah, like let's stop overthinking or overanalyzing yourself or over criticizing yourself. Let's go have some fun.
Yeah, let's go have some fun. Yep.
Cool.
Definitely. Yeah.
What do you got?
All right. So I'm using the Moonology Oracle, and I got Believe in the Impossible. This is the Blue Moon card.
All right.
That's a good one. And then I got Have Faith in Your Dreams. This is the Waxing Crescent Moon.
I like that.
So it's pretty airy energy, I'd say. We were talking about grounding and simplifying and slowing down, but this doesn't mean we're not still dreaming, and we're not still, we want to leave those 2 of Swords behind, but they're still there.
We're going to move into the next week, which is the week of June 17th through June 23rd. And this is our last couple days of Gemini season. We are moving into Cancer season. I'm a Cancer rising. I'm excited. Yay. So summer solstice on, and it's a Litha, pagan holiday. And by 4:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 20th, Thursday the 20th, we will have the sun in this water sign of Cancer. And we're heading right into a full moon. So full moon in Capricorn. So this is a big week, full moon week. So I like to get my moon water out pretty soon this week.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yep. Get it out the night before.
Venus is still going to be square. You can leave it out. Yeah, you can really leave it out almost the whole week. Maybe put it out like Wednesday. Yep. Drink it on Sunday, or sometimes I put like a big jug and sip off of it during the week.
Yeah, that's what I do. I have a big jug. Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. So the Venus square Neptune continues until Friday. Then things will lighten up a little bit. So Monday, we have Monday the 17th. Moon will be in Libra until early, like 2:38 a.m. It moves into Scorpio. Okay, so we're starting to move, starting to see some water signs showing up here. Scorpio. Mercury leaves the sign of Gemini and enters the sign of Cancer. That's a psychic placement. Mercury, the planet of communication, and Cancer. It's like Psychic Monday, boy. So by the time you get up, there's going to be a lot of water energy. Venus also moves into the sign of Cancer. So to me, that's very romantic, nurturing, sweet.
That sounds like the perfect, I was going to say, that sounds like the perfect morning, if you can, to take your time getting up, do some lucid dreaming, or at least try to remember your dreams and journal them down.
I like that. And so if you can go slow on a Monday morning, please do. If you can't, just be extra gentle to yourself, or maybe take a little longer in the shower or take a bath.
Yeah.
All right. All
There
this
you go.
water energy. So there's going to be a nice trine between the moon with Mercury and Venus. So things should be a little smoother in your communication. There'll be a little less air energy because things are moving into these water signs. So on the 17th, we'll have, let's see, 2 planets and then the moon in water signs. We'll still have 2 planets in air signs, 2 planets in earth signs, 2 planets in Pisces, another water sign. So you're starting to see the planets start to dissipate out a little bit. It's been so scrunched for so long. So we're going to start to feel it getting a little bit lighter. Okay. There is a square with Pluto on Monday, so we can keep that in mind. We're not going to be able to fight the changes that are needing to be made. And so Monday the 17th, feelings are strong. Write in your journal. Don't forget your journal. Never forget your journal. Right?
Journal.
Because
especially
the moon's
with that
Scorpio.
Square with Pluto. Especially with that square. I mean, just, if you have something to say, to your boss or your partner, maybe journal it this day.
Yeah.
And wait, just wait.
Yeah, just wait a little bit. I mean, it's a full moon week. You never want to get into it on a full moon week. Things are feisty, right?
Just wait.
And it's a Capricorn full moon, which Capricorn is not going to be budged.
No.
So there's
Capricorn's going to be too busy.
It's going to be like strong and determined. So I wouldn't be pushing it with people. But with the moon in Scorpio on Monday, you're really going to be in touch with your deep feelings. And Pluto's going to be there to give you a little nudge too. So make sure that you take care of yourself as these feelings come up, right? We talked a lot about mental health this month.
Now, and feelings. Remember to write down how it makes you feel, not just the situation, not just the, your partner, your boss is aggravating you, take a moment. Well, how does that make me feel? And why do I feel that way? Dig a little deeper about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the emotions are getting deeper. Things are moving. Like Gemini feels like more surface energy to me.
More like socializing and.
Yeah, I think of Gemini as this bouncing ball, right? It's like over here, over there, over there. But Scorpio's like down deep.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's written as the M with the little tail. It's a snake. It's a water snake, right? It's deep emotion. What were you going to say?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I was going to say is the Scorpio is like the deep emotions. So definitely, take the time to what am I trying to say? Dive into it. Ask yourself how it really makes you feel and journal it and then forget about it. Let it go, don't fixate on it over this full moon. Yeah.
Yeah. And also don't be, all of a sudden we have all these planets and water signs. Don't let it sink you, right? Just let it come up and out. Be gentle and kind. Like Venus in Cancer is going to be like the most gentle and kind, right? So be that for yourself. Allow yourself to have a good cry if you need to.
Yeah. I was just about to say, go buy yourself some strawberries and feed them to yourself or your loved ones,
Ooh, because which moon? You said that one of them's called the strawberry moon.
It's going to be the strawberry moon. Yeah.
This is going to be it.
Yep. It's going to be the strawberry moon. So the strawberries are going to start to be fruiting.
Yay. Love it. All right. Yeah. So Mercury and Venus to Cancer on Monday the 17th. So Tuesday the 18th, the moon continues to be in Scorpio. Now, there's lots of romantic energy, but it is not a great time to make commitments in love because Venus is square Neptune. Anytime Neptune's involved, I don't care if it was even trining it really, but it's going to be, there's fog in there. So it could be romantic, but you might not exactly know what you're getting. Okay. Especially if it's new
It always
love.
reminds me of like, Neptune always reminds me of like being underwater and seeing everything, you know, like we're not going to see it too clearly, you know, so sometimes this might look really good.
Yeah.
But, you know, like you're saying with the fog,
really
you know,
good.
but just it might feel really good, but
might feel really good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then the moon will move into Sagittarius around lunchtime on the 19th. So it might be a little bit lighter as it moves into Sag because there wasn't a lot of fire in general. So it'll give us a little more balance. Just make sure you've gotten enough rest. Okay. And then we move into the summer solstice on the 20th. It happens at 4:51 p.m. And just be gentle and celebrate this beautiful time of the year. There's a trine with Mars. So you can take, and I think Mars was in Taurus. So you can take this beautiful action of loving compassion and enjoying the summer season, celebrating the limited time that we get of summer season up here in New England.
Yes.
Right? And
yes, take advantage.
And the moon will also be square Neptune that day. So more fogginess. Okay. Then Friday is the official full moon, 1 degree of Capricorn. And it's interesting. I've been learning about like the degrees. I think they're called the decans, and how like the first 10 degrees is like that sign, and then the undercurrent of the sign, it's almost like Capricorn.
Oh,
okay.
Right.
So like say it was like an 11 degree Capricorn moon. Then it would be Capricorn with an undertone of the next earth sign. So the next earth sign after Capricorn is Taurus, right? So if it had been an 11 degree full moon, it would be Capricorn full moon with an undertow of Taurus, but it isn't. This is like Capricorn, 1 degree. It's kind of cool, the whole decan thing.
I see.
I've been having fun with that.
That is cool.
So there's kind of a seriousness to this because Capricorn ruled by Saturn, right? Where it's like banging my hand on the table when we talk about Saturn. Responsibilities, rules, schedules.
Work.
Work, career. Capricorn Saturn is considered like the lord of the astrology chart, right? So, but the thing is that things aren't clear because all this Neptune stuff.
So yeah. Well, I was just going to say, so if you're doing a job, make sure you cross all your I's and, you know, what's the saying, you know, cross all your T's and dot all your I's. Double check everything. Because I feel like we're going to be getting into projects and doing fun stuff, but, you know, just make sure or even like, you know, watch where you're walking type thing, you know, because you're going to be working, you're going to be in it. But with Neptune there, just be careful. You might not see right in front of your face.
And Neptune's squaring, but then a full moon is when the moon and the sun are across from each other, and the sun's in a water sign too. So there can be a lot of like delusion, right? So don't overcommit.
Yeah, right. Capricorn's going to make you want to go, but like you're saying with all this water, just don't overcommit. Yeah.
Yeah, because you might not know what exactly you even are committing to. Right? So Capricorn's really good at committing. After the full moon fades, what exactly did you get yourself into? Right? Exactly. So by Sunday, like the moon in Capricorn is going to be right there with Pluto. So there's a lot of intensity. There's a lot there. There could be some great financial opportunities, but there's going to be intensity. So just pay attention to what needs to change because Pluto is all about change. Pay attention to what needs to change. Don't resist the change. And by late evening on Sunday, the moon will move into Aquarius. So be open that things next week might change up a little bit again because we have Aquarius, which is going to make things maybe you had plans set in stone, but maybe they change next week.
I was just going to say, maybe you actually, over the course of that full moon and stuff, you change the way your whole thinking. So now this whole week is going to be just a whole new way of thinking for you.
Ooh, so maybe.
Yeah, well, with Pluto, Pluto's like transformation, and it can be rebirth. It could be that we need to let go of some of the way we think about. Did you mention money or something? Yeah, some money opportunities, So maybe it's just like, our perception about how we think about money, Are we deserving of it or not, Money can be gifted to you. Remember that. You don't have to earn everything.
Yeah. And also, like, you might decide, do I want to spend this money that I have plans coming up to do? Right? Maybe you've had a great week of doing the simple pleasures. Maybe last week you got really healthy, selfish, and focused on what you needed. And maybe you took some downtime. Maybe now you have some big plans coming up that you're like, maybe I don't want to spend the money. That would be an example of that to me.
Yeah, maybe you stayed home instead of going out and you saved yourself a couple $100,
Yeah.
And now you're like, oh, now I have a couple $100 to it. And now I can invest in something or just doing that to invest in your health, Wow.
Yeah. What could be better for your health than like paying down your debt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Making more simple choices. All right. Yeah. So let's pull a couple cards for this big full moon week. Okay, so I got the Two of Wands here. Here we go. Two of Fire. He's holding the world in his hands. It's a 2. We've had a lot of going on with Venus. And he's really thinking about where he wants to go, what he wants to do. Okay. So relationship number coming up. You hopefully took a deep dive this week into really what's going on with you. Maybe you have a little bit more clear understanding of yourself and what you want, where you want to go, how you want to spend your money. And then I got the Page of Wands, which is kind of this silly card where he's like waving at us.
Yeah.
And this is young energy. It feels very playful.
I like that.
Right? He's walking in the woods.
New thinking. You could be changing your new way of thinking. I mean, Wands isn't really thinking, that's swords, right? But
swords
sometimes
is more,
I think but sometimes I think of Wands as like the magician, thinking up new things to create, to manifest.
Magical. Yeah. And I like that he's just kind of out there where we were talking about like watching your money and not, the simple pleasures. And he's like out there in the woods, Maybe he's going to go pick some red clover like we were talking about for last week. Yeah. All right. Exactly. So let's see what you got.
Well, I grabbed this animal deck from Jamie Sam's, and we love this animal deck. This is a classic. I've had this one for like 25 years. So we didn't mean to bring animal spirits into it, but I guess they wanted to. And we got the fox, number 25.
Cool.
The fox. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, I think that's great energy for this week because the fox is kind of like, reminds me of taking that first step out into, what am I doing here? Am I what am I hunting for? And taking it cautiously. So, like we were saying before, the thinking and the watery weekend and not sure what you're committing yourself to. Well, just make sure that every step you take, you are taking it intently, quietly, like the fox does. He goes this way and he looks, and he's hunting, but
lovely.
Just
I like
take each
that.
step intently.
Yeah, intentionally. And awesome.
Yeah.
What else do you
we want to pull another one? Or is that good?
Let's do 2. Let's see what else you get.
Let's do 2.
I love that deck. I've been trying to get that deck, but I can't. I don't think it's in print anymore.
I know, it's hard. I don't think so. All right. What else? What other animal spirit skills do we want our viewers to have this month? Oh, the deer. Oh, that's so sweet. That's almost the same kind of energy. It's more of the prey instead of the predator, but it's still the same kind of, silently when we watch deer, they just kind of take one step and then they look around, just always aware and just soft and Deer kind of reminds me of summer energy too. And the softness. This is a doe. This doesn't have antlers, you know. So this is like
so sweet.
Just kind of the softness, taking your time. And this actually has a wishbone and a crystal. So it's kind of like, you know, just take your time, think about your wishes and your intentions and, you know,
your
thoughts
yeah.
before your actions.
And you were saying before, watch your step because of the Neptune stuff and like how they take their steps very slowly, right?
Very carefully.
Yeah.
Right. They
and
take
also,
a step and then they look.
Yeah. And I love that you brought the animals into it because it's Cancer season. And what cancers tend to want more than anything is to feel safe, nurtured, loved, right? And so I often tell people who are water signs, and we have a lot of water this week, that they can kind of relax into trusting their own intuition. It's almost like the deer when they are listening, you know, they're calm until they hear a sound and then they go, right? That our body's going to signal us when there's something.
Right.
And so kind of relaxing into that space. Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
Right.
Thank you for
Cancer
sharing
reminds
that.
me Cancer reminds me of intuition too. So really trust your intuition. Like the deer have that intuition. You know, they'll be picking their heads up and looking at something before you even know what they're aware of. So in that Cancer energy, even if you're not a Cancer, just trust your intuition more.
Yeah, this is the time when this energy is more activated. And especially with Venus and Mercury in the signs of Cancer. I mean, anytime you have Mercury in a water sign, that's considered a psychic placement, right? I have it in Scorpio. What do you have it in? Do you remember?
Well, my Mercury's in Gemini.
Is it in Gemini? Okay.
But I was going to say, trust your intuition more, because in those times you might actually be picking up on what people are meaning to say, not what they're saying. And you know, so you're sort of picking up so you're sort of picking up on these other subtle realms. And I guess what I'm just trying to say is to trust those gut feelings. You know, if you're standing next to somebody and it doesn't feel good, trust that. Don't be all, you know, don't try to talk yourself into it like a Gemini would be like, oh, well, maybe I should be social and maybe I should be nice and maybe it's just me. And no, I think
trust
you should really
it.
trust
I have learned over and over again, trust it, because it's right most of the time. And you might have Mercury in Gemini, but you have it in the 8th house, Scorpio's house. So that's a psychic placement also. So if your Mercury falls into a water house, 4th, 8th, or 12th, still the same kind of thing I'm talking about. And I know you have that about you.
Yeah. I'm learning this more and more. And the reason I was giving that advice is because that's coming to me now. I'm learning that I'm actually, when I meet someone, I can connect with their higher selves a little more, their higher potential, and sort of get sort of divine information that way. And I've always said, like, I read energy, I read body language before I read the words. So I'm just learning to trust that even more now. So
yes,
you know,
me
when
too.
you get those feelings and those hunches, trust them.
Absolutely. It's taken me a while, and after many mess ups in my mind that I knew it and I didn't listen to it, I really hope and pray that I am past that point now, that I really can trust it, because it's right. It's right.
It's right.
99% of the time, it's right. So even if you personally don't have Mercury, or you have a lot of water signs in your chart, or Mercury in a water sign, this is the energy that's active now because these planets are currently in it. Okay. So there's an opportunity here for you to touch base a little bit more with the fluid body, with the psychic energy. Just observe it. Take really good notes. Okay.
Yeah. Take really good notes and take the leap of faith, you know, trust your intuition, because we have to do the tests. We have to take the leap of faith and go, well, maybe I really shouldn't be hanging out with that person, and just do it and stop. And then you will see that, oh, my intuition was right. And it takes many, many times for us to do these things, these little practices, the awareness and, letting go of the fear and just taking the action. And the more we do that, then the more reward we get from it. And then we realize, oh, I will trust my intuition, because listening to us talk about it right now, we've been working on this for years, and I still find myself, I'm not so much anymore, but, we still find ourselves doubting those feelings. But Now is the time when we need to believe those feelings and doubt the thoughts that are coming into your mind.
Absolutely. Because we live in such a logical world, and we are so taught that all the answers are in logic. Right. But really and truly, what I've learned so far is I'm a lot of water. So the feelings are usually spot on. People will try to talk me out of it. People will try to tell me that I don't know the facts, but I'm noticing more and more. The more that I trust it, the stronger it gets. Right?
Yeah, the more you trust it. Yep.
Yeah. I've been actually playing a game with myself lately with clients, because I read up at the Mayflower Inn in Washington, Connecticut. And a lot of times I'll have a client booked, but they haven't given me their birth information yet. So I've been doing this thing where I start to feel what their signs are going to be before they get there. And my accuracy rate's getting pretty high. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
It's fun to play with. Yeah. So play with it. It's not going to hurt anything for you to play with this. And then you can sit and feel and take notes about what your feelings were, especially as you meet new people. If you really got a strong impression about something or a strong feeling about something, I don't really care what's coming out of their mouth. I want you to trust that feeling.
Right.
Okay.
Trust the feelings.
Trust the feelings.
I was
observe.
Also going to, trust the feelings that we have about people, and also about things too. In this day and age, we have so much information coming to us from, the internet, from just friends and stuff, that we need to really even more now be more discerning about what we trust, because we can't take everything as fact.
No. Nope. All right. So that's some advice for you for the week, for always, but especially the week of June 17th through the 23rd. All right. So we're going to move into the final week of June, and this is June 24th through June 30th. And we start off Monday, the 24th, with the moon in Aquarius. So we have the sun in Cancer, moon in Aquarius. Feelings are going to still be strong, lots of water energy going on, even though Aquarius is an air sign. Even though they're called the water bearer, they came here to learn about emotion, but they tend to be logical. So good day to write. Air signs are good at writing. It's kind of like, I don't know, when Aquarius comes around, and I didn't see a lot of aspects that day, so it felt a little smoother. Just kind of leave it open. See what comes up.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if it's Aquarius in there, like you were saying before, unpredictable. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, not sure. So maybe that's fun.
Yeah.
Maybe you just follow where you're guided. So we continue,
I like that.
right? Yeah. I remember doing like a thing with in a class I was taking a while back, where it was like, just go for a walk and then just like turn down whatever street you're drawn to. And you could do it driving too. Just like go and follow where, and it's interesting to do that, to just follow and not have a plan. Right? Asked to be guided.
I'd say that's another good way to trust your intuition, is because you can be guided towards, what's the best thing I need to see right now or learn right now.
Okay, so Tuesday the 25th, we have the moon still in the sign of Aquarius, and it's making a square with its own ruler, Uranus. Okay, so it's kind of interesting when the moon's squaring its own ruler. There's also going to be, there's some trines going on with Saturn and Mercury and Pluto with Jupiter and Uranus. So there's a lot of smooth energy except for the square with Uranus. So listen closely for instructions. Listen, kind of quiet down, listen, and it may show up in the strangest of ways. You may get help from people in the strangest of ways. Uranus actually rules helpful friends. Okay. So there's a square there though. So don't have expectations of people helping you. Okay. And yeah, and just kind of know that things are a little wonky, little unpredictable still. Kind of going to stay that way through Wednesday. When we wake up on Wednesday morning, the moon will have moved into Pisces. So we're going to have 6 planets in water signs by Wednesday. 6 out of 10 planets are going to be in water signs.
Wow.
Yeah. And the moon will be squaring Jupiter, which is going to make everything bigger. And there is a trine with Mercury and Venus. So that's nice. So we are in deep into this watery season. 6 planets in water signs. All right. So it's smoother energy with Mercury and Venus, but keep in mind that there's going to be a lot of non-verbal communication going on. So nonverbal communication is a real thing. Pay attention to it.
Yeah.
If you feel like there's something unspoken or you're just picking up a vibe from somebody, you're probably right.
Trust it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And trust your psychic intuition. You know, most people think it's in your belly. I think it can be all over.
It can be all over. Sure.
It can feel like a good thing. It can feel emotional. Sometimes it can be a strong emotion. But I think that's how psychic energy works.
Yeah. Sometimes it can just be a strong emotion that overcomes you. And if you find yourself going, I don't know why I'm crying, or I don't know why I'm laughing right now, that is an example of that, where it can come through in us. You know.
We could be picking up a lot of other people's stuff right now. So it's really important to be clearing, okay? Because clearing, and water's a good way to clear. Go for a swim.
Yeah.
Go
and
for,
yeah, it's the waning moon. So this really facilitates the cleansing of all this.
Yeah.
Wow. What a month.
What an interesting month. Good thing we can go swimming.
Yeah.
So Thursday, we have a square with Mercury, Venus, and Pluto. So that's going to be an interesting day. There's a really low fire energy still. And I wrote down, light a candle in the memory of a loved one who's passed.
Oh, that's nice.
Right? The psychic energy is through the roof. If there's someone that you want to connect to, take a picture of them out. Light a candle for them. It almost gives me vibes of like the veil being thin.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also reminds me too that I've had loved ones come through in plants and in animals before. So I'm sure people have felt it with animals, but since I work with plants, I've definitely had past loved ones come through plants.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it can come in any way. So definitely when you set the intention with the picture, I think that's a great idea, and set an intention to connect with them, and then just be aware, because they can visit, because it's all energy. It could visit in any form.
Absolutely. And, I always ask for the highest and best version. And also, because it's Cancer season, and Cancer, so to me, associated with the moon, which feels so feminine to me, I think of the mothers and the grandmothers and the grandmothers before, right? The ancient grandmothers.
Sure.
So really good time to connect with them, even if you never knew them.
Right. I mean, I'm learning now just to work with my ancestors. I had a wonderful reading with Dina Pacwa.
Yeah.
Where, she's a shamanic reader.
Yeah.
I was lucky to have a reading with her at Tarot and Time, and it was wonderful. And she taught me about connecting with my ancestors. And I like how you have the what did you say, the most benevolent or something, the most kind. And she told me to make sure that I add in the most evolved and wise ancestors too. She said, because everybody's going to want to connect with you, but make sure that you are being very careful about who you're trying to reconnect with. And so
I agree. Yeah, that's a good point.
Me personally, I want to start connecting with my evolved ancestors that want to help me do this work.
Absolutely. And that's a good point what you're saying. We don't want to just let anything and everyone in. We don't keep our front door open. We want to be picky, and we want to align with the highest, the people that have, or the energies that have the highest and best good for us. I always ask for it in the most gentle of ways.
Oh, I like that.
Right?
That's a good one, yeah.
So with all this water energy that's going on, things are going to be foggy. Woo. So just keep moving ahead step by step, slowly. This is like the times when Sheila Haidt, my mentor, talks about wearing ankle weights to keep you grounded, right? So we don't just float away. And so keep moving slowly. On Friday, the moon will continue to be in Pisces until very early AM, when it will move into the sign of Aries. It'll still be close to Neptune. The sun will be square Neptune, just water, water, water all over the place. Okay. So move slowly, move with intention. Don't get overwhelmed by all the feeling. All right.
And don't start anything new. Aries coming into the view might make us want to, do something new with all this. We don't know what to do. And Aries is going to make us feel like, well, let's just do something. So I would try to really just not start anything new, really resist that urge.
Yeah, that's good advice. Yeah, because it's too foggy. So maybe it's like in Aries is that energy of I am. So maybe it's like, I am chilling out. I am taking this time. Maybe it's a good vacation time.
Yeah.
Right? Slower movement.
Right. And it would be a great time to think about stuff like the I am.
Yeah,
just
I am that I am that
go
I
ahead
am.
and research that and, start making those kind of statements.
Yeah. I am choosing to move slowly. I am choosing to stay calm. I am choosing to relax, to feel my emotions.
Yeah.
So Saturday, the moon will be in Aries. It's a good day to get exercise. That would be a great way to use it. Maybe a good swim.
Yeah.
On Saturday, some nice slow movement. And then Sunday, we'll have the moon move into Taurus by 8 a.m.
Oh, nice.
It feels a little smoother to me on Sunday. And so it's a really good day to enjoy your relationships. I wrote down, go for it, especially in matters of love.
Okay.
But, this, maybe I should reframe that. It might be love that you've already known, people you've already known, but when you're bringing new people in through all this watery energy, we might not get the full picture of who they are. Trust the feeling. Okay. All right. So let's pull some cards for this last beautiful week of June.
I'm just randomly picking a deck again.
Yeah, go for it.
This is fun. I keep some of my older decks wrapped up in these nice silk cloths. Oh my gosh, look what came out. The old school one. This is like the original Rider-Waite.
Cool. There's your Page of Cups, all watery.
There's the Page of Cups ready to go. I like that. He's got the little fish in his cup.
He's not afraid to look into his emotions.
No, he's not. And he seems pretty confident.
Yeah, absolutely. Like looks like he's at the beach.
Yeah, he does. Exactly. He's definitely got some water in the background there. Let's see. Let's pick one more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, the star. And look what she's doing. She's pouring into the water.
Yeah, she's the water bearer.
Yep.
So this is Aquarius energy. We had the moon in Aquarius the first couple days of the week, right? And so, the star card, she's shining brightly. She's been cleansed of what doesn't work. She's releasing it out.
Yeah.
She's healing.
And it's the simplicity of it, too. It's not very complicated.
Yeah.
It reminds me of just like the old metaphor of just like carry water, What is the old? I think it's an old Buddhist saying, chop wood, carry water.
Oh, okay.
It's just like the simplicity of it, because those are like the most important things too.
Yeah.
So we got to make sure that we stay grounded and nurtured, and This almost has temperance energy. Am I wrong? I don't know.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I got temperance.
There we go.
And
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking too.
yeah,
They have a
right.
similarity there.
I think so, with the water, and yeah, that's beautiful. I love that deck.
Pouring back and forth.
Yeah, right. So it's still like with all the water, it's still, make sure, like you were saying with love too, you know, just make sure that you're pouring into your own cup and that you are taking care of yourself first.
Yeah, that you're being replenished. Yeah.
Yeah, especially in relationships and loved ones. Like, you know, we want to do everything for loved ones, but make sure you do it for yourself first.
Yeah.
And then you have a cup to pour out of.
Yeah, and so the star is, to me, it's like it's healing. So it's really beautiful. And so we both got these beautiful women stepping up to deal with their emotions.
Yeah.
Not being afraid to dip their toe into those deep waters. All right. So, and then for my other card, I got the Queen of Wands.
Oh, nice.
She's pretty chill there. Look at that cat. Looks so happy.
Oh, how cute. Nice. Yeah, she's chilling.
She's chilling. So we know, again, not tons of fire this month, right? Low fire energy. So the Queen of Wands shows up. She's like, I'm still here. I'm just a little bit in the background, a little bit. She's the queen of travel. So, and my other card here, Temperance, is foreign travel. So this may be a time that you are traveling, or maybe you're thinking about the places you want to go, what you want to do. And so she's there still in the background, kind of balancing out this lack of fire energy. So there's still a lot of passion there. There's still a lot of beauty there. And she's a queen. So you can't go wrong with a queen. Yeah.
No. It's reminding me of like planting seeds. You know, sometimes when we're not sure what to do, we can still plant seeds. And she's got the sunflowers in her hand, and June is a good month to plant sunflower seeds. Yeah. And when you said travel, I was thinking, isn't it like in August and September when people make plans to go see those sunflower mazes and stuff?
Oh,
I always miss them. You know, it's always like, oh, this is the weekend. Go see the sunflower maze. You know, so if that's something you're interested in, start planning that now.
She looks so chill to me. Like, I haven't seen a queen. She looks like she's like sitting on the side of her hip, you know, like she's just chilling.
Yeah.
And so maybe this is the week that you make sure that you get some chill time, especially over the weekend with the moon in Aries, because it finally gives us a little fire energy. And she would be an Aries queen.
She looks like an Aries queen.
Yeah. So the weekend is going to be a really kind of exciting weekend. Just go slow. Don't push too hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't push too hard.
All right. Well,
one of them fell out.
Oh, something fell out. A jumper, huh? Let's see what we got.
It's an 8 of Swords. I can't get it. It jumped across the floor, but
good.
Just thought I'd share that with you.
So you couldn't even get it. So the 8 of Swords, which is reminding us not to overthink it all, right? Not to just be stuck in the loop of worrying. You couldn't even reach it. It was set aside, right? So focus on the beauty. She's just chilling. Take this time, especially this week, and really enjoy it. There's going to be plenty of time to get work done. Yeah. But it's not necessarily right now.
Right. Yeah. Right? Save the rest of this week to just chill out, because then we've got the new moon coming up in a whole new month, and it's going to be go time again. So
yeah, exactly.
Soak it in.
Yeah. Soak it in. Perfect advice for the month. Yeah. It was so nice having you here as my special guest co-host. You're such a natural at all this. Nature by Nikki is a natural.
It just comes to me. Exactly. Trust your intuition, everyone. That's how I got here.
Yes, exactly. So we will be announcing a date that Nature by Nikki will be at our Kent location soon for the sound journey. We're just going to move some furniture around, make some space so we can have a beautiful evening together.
Yeah, let's do that in Kent.
Can't wait. We'll keep you posted. And then I think you're going to be doing some private sessions also at some point
I'm doing some private sessions too. Yep. People can book privately with me. Yep.
Wonderful. Yeah. So I'll keep you updated on when we get we get to host Nature by Nikki, and otherwise you can follow her to see her other events. So thank you so much again.
Yeah,
thanks everybody for joining us.